confused, overwhelmed, stressed. Delve into the truth as we take on this world with eyes wide open. Join Vicki, Elle, Nikki, and Teresa, 4 women, 4 decades, here to discuss issues that affect you. Expect laughter, but we promise to be real and share God's truth as we let the video roll.
What kind of trip are we on, guys?
A power trip.
Power trip.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Bullying is like, but what are we doing?
We're on a road trip.
We're on a
but
road
it
trip.
made us think about other trips that women take.
Oh, we're on a road trip,
Yep.
but it made us really think about other trips that women take. So, like a power trip? Are we on Are we on a power trip?
Well,
Who
no.
are we? Do they know who we are?
Oh, hi.
Hi!
We're with Eyes Wide Open. I'm Elle,
I'm Nikki.
I'm Teresa.
And I'm Vicki.
and we're so glad that you're here with us today. And we wanted to talk to you about the trips that women take. We're in a car and we're on a road trip.
Yep.
And we're having a good time.
Power
and
trip.
nobody's paying attention to the road. And
No,
it's really
no.
awesome. Because sometimes you can go on a trip and really not know where you're headed,
That's
right?
right. That's
And that's
right.
exactly what we want to talk about with
Yeah.
some of the road trips that women take. So what are some of the what's a road trip that women take that we want to talk about today, guys?
So the one we're talking about today really is just this almost power trip where we're sort of in ourselves, maybe just taking everyone else out,
Right.
maybe bullying, maybe, whatever. Our kids are going through this, but women are too,
Yeah, right.
men are too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know that a lot of times we think of adults as being bullied.
Right.
Our kids are learning more about this topic than
Yes.
even we are.
Okay, well, I learned a lot about it today because I was like, really? We're talking about this? I didn't get it. So I learned a lot about it. So I know that Teresa's got a great definition
Yeah.
for us to help us all get on the same page about what's going on.
So this is just one definition of many, but bullying is the use of force.
Attention Wewo audience. Please stand by. Teresa suffered from a brief spell of word pronunciation sabotage. Stay tuned as Nikki saves the day.
Okay, bullying is the use of force, threat, and coercion to abuse, intimidate, and aggressively dominate others.
Yes.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yes. And it's when there's an imbalance of power. And so there's times where in schools, I formerly was a principal, and we would have to determine, is it a balance of power and they're not getting along, or does this person have a little bit more influence over the other, and potentially over a group of people who can then help and assist with the bullying in more indirect ways. And so bullying is not just head to head. Bullying can be what's going on in the background, the manipulation, the deceit, and
What are we going to talk about? Like
Yes.
our role as bullies to each other, or how we handle bullying?
Well, I think
all of it.
I think
Just
it's,
the awareness.
Yeah, the awareness. First of all, the awareness, and to be aware that we aren't stepping into the role of bullying somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What does it
Or
look like when
gossip.
we do that?
Well, we were talking,
Yes.
like you guys were telling me it's like gossip, and gossip can become bullying when you're using it to manipulate people.
Right.
And bring other people down.
Right.
Right,
Yep.
right. So it doesn't even have to be like Teresa was saying, like to your face. Because
No.
to me, bullying is when I would be mean to like Nikki's face, or and then that would be bullying. But this is behind the scenes, controlling and
Often, yes.
manipulating
Yes.
and trying to change the course of someone's life by the things that we've said.
yes, exactly.
I like how you brought up the almost tearing of it, and how much of a she did, where it's like there's somebody here who's maybe got a little more power, and then other people are kind of maybe almost doing the legwork of the bullying, and just understanding the craftiness that goes into
Craftiness, I like that.
of just bringing someone down. And they talk about somebody really, the bully being the weak one.
Yes.
The bully can be the weak one. Often when we talk about adults and bullying and women, because women tend to be more manipulative, men more face-to-face aggressive. But often they talk about the queen bee.
Yeah.
And who the queen bee is, she's the one that manipulates often others around her to bully somebody. It is a power struggle is what we do when we're bullying. We can do it in a number of different ways. Gossip is one of the good ways, but it's all about cutting and putting somebody down so I can gain more power.
You're building an alliance, and
Right.
you're trying to change their perspective of that person so that
Right.
they lose power
Yeah,
or
have you
friendship.
friendships
Yes,
and
friendship.
being outcast and left
exactly.
out, and that's women. it's sad, but we as women do that.
I'm thinking of like with the word power. Like, so when this bullying, is to gain power, but I think bullying is not of God. We know that.
Right.
So how much power do we really get? I mean, bullies do get a lot of power. I get that, but it's worldly power, and it hurts and everything. But I mean,
I think it's only for a time too.
Think of the power. All those traits that bullies have are the same traits that awesome Christian people have, where you can understand, persuade, not negatively, but you can bring people into a idea and get them to buy into it, and all that could be used for good.
Right.
Yeah.
Power can be good or it can
But that's it. It's like how you've been raised, what's happened to you. It's not an excuse, but these are some of the things that happen. Often if you've been bullied, if you find that you can bully somebody else. But I want to read a scripture because to me, this really speaks a lot to it. It's from Proverbs 6:16 through 19. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. And to me, that is a good description of what a bully does.
Can you read the descriptive words one more time? I mean,
Okay.
and I just am going to sit here and I'm going to think, am I doing any of those, and get rid of
Haughty
it.
eyes. How often do we women speak messages through our eyes? I think of my daughter talks to me about having big eyes sometimes.
or
But
rolling our eyes.
rolling our eyes, just a lying tongue, so we're willing to lie. Hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked schemes. Feet that are quick to rush into evil. A false witness who pours out lies. And a person who stirs up conflict in the community. And I really encourage you, we always want to look for the negative, but sometimes we have to see examples to be able to get what we're talking about. Is just watch conversations that go on, whether it be in your church or at the workplace is a good thing between women, wherever it may be, and you'll start to see this starting to happen. And where we have to be careful, it is easy to get sucked into it.
You do this, Vicki. So we are in a group of us 4. We've been in mini group settings where there's a lot of us, and I know that you've done this. I've seen you and felt you do this to us before, where we are maybe saying something quite innocent, but it's on the verge, and it could go south. And you can hear Vicki almost redirect and say the flip side, and it never allows us to go there. Not that we would, but I definitely feel it happen. That's the kind of person and friend and leader I want to be too. That's so awesome.
And not to stir things up. And they say that the Bible, it's in Proverbs, but it talks about how when those things are stirred up, you don't put fire to that flame, that spark. You walk away from it. Don't be a part of keeping it stirred up, because when those things are released, if nobody picks it up, if nobody repeats it,
lives
then
in
you just
it,
let it go,
it
let
dies.
it fall to the ground, it will die, and it will not continue on.
You
And
go ahead.
Well, and you show if somebody's trying to suck you in, you help to stop it, not just by kind of walking away, but maybe helping that person to think of it, in a different light. Usually they're complaining about somebody and they're saying they did something, or their intentions were this, but you have to ask that person, why would any rational person do that? And help them to start walking in their shoes a little bit
and be aware of what they're The next thing I'm thinking about is, okay, so we give you all this information, but what about, like, what do you do when it happens to you, and how do you respond? And this Bible verse I think is so good. So it's Romans 12:20 and 21. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For by doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good.
And that's it, isn't it? Overcome evil with good.
you love them. If they're the ones attacking you and saying things about you, you don't receive it.
No.
Don't let that, that don't take on that identity that they're throwing at you.
Right.
But see, like what Teresa said, see their heart behind it. They're hurting if they're doing that, and so we love them. We pray for them. We ask the Lord to heal them, and to also help them to see that what they're doing isn't right.
Yeah, and they do not need to remain your best friend. They're not
That's
your
right.
disciple of
That's
12 walking around with you doing all kinds of good. No, you have parameters, but we do have to love them.
And if it's toward you, don't be afraid to draw a line in the sand.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it's the hardest thing in the world to do, but to say, I won't accept that.
Right.
This is not the type of interaction I want to have with you. And so it's okay to say that, and it'll shut it down in most cases.
Yeah. And I think that's really powerful what you said, that I'm not going to accept this, because when we begin to take that stand, drawing the line in the sand against these things, and we stand as women and say, I'm not going to accept this, then we empower other women to say that same thing.
right.
And these things begin to fall apart. They they get thrown to the ground, and it occurs less and less, because we're not going to accept this. Not in my watch.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, 11 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we
gotta
gotta
close this
gotta
down.
tell you all about the great things we have down below
Yeah.
for you. We have a 4x4 for you down below this video, and it gives you some questions and some ways to respond. Maybe to just think about this topic in another way, and also this would be a great topic to sit and talk with your friends,
Right.
or if you have daughters, to talk about this and bring awareness to the different ways that bullying actually does exist.
Have a group
So,
of their friends come over.
yeah, and talk to them
Make
and
it an
encourage
activity.
them in it. I mean, it'd be really great. And also subscribe.
Yes,
We are looking for
subscribe.
100 subscribers, and we are well on our way, and we know that you're going to be the next ones to do. So subscribe and
Do.
move us up on YouTube.
Yeah, so we can get out there.
Yeah, and get out there and let other people know. Share it. Share
Yeah.
it on your Facebook pages with your friends, and also make sure that you leave comments below. We really want to connect with you. We'd love to hear your heart. We'd love to pray for you. If someone's been bullying you, let us
Yes.
come alongside you.
Prayer in numbers.
And, pray for you, and or if there's other things you want to talk to us about, please comment below. But we're going to share with you our message. Our Bible verse from the Message Bible is Colossians 4:2, and it is
Pray diligently, stay alert with your eyes wide open in gratitude.
So
join us
as we step into truth and light with eyes wide open. Blessings. We're
Have
on
a
the
good
road.
trip.
On the
See
road
ya
again.
Just can't
Just
wait to
get on the road again.
I don't know anymore.
Hit the road, Jack.
And
And don't you come back no more.